Good morning. It is Tuesday, November 3rd, 2020, Election Day. Whew. Finally got here, and as we all know, probably not going to be over today. So I'm not going to talk about the election, but maybe I sort of am and didn't realize it. I want to talk to you about looking out for each other. That's what it says here. It's hard to see. Let's look out for each other. And we all talk about that a lot. I'm also not even going to talk about COVID, and I could. But what I want to talk about is what does it look like when we exercise a phrase I just recently came up with, which is ecosystem leadership. I've been thinking about it a lot during COVID, but really didn't have a whole lot of concrete answers or examples. Recently, one of the podcast guests who does music concerts was telling us a story about how this summer they put together a concert that was unique because they couldn't have traditional venues. They found a location. There were several hotels around a courtyard, and they sold the rooms with tickets to the concert. And the bands played down in the courtyard, so it created distancing. And what it did is it provided an opportunity for bands to play, for people to hear music. But here's the cooler part: hotels to have guests, food vendors to have people to sell to. All the people that support concerts were there, the sound crews, the staging crews. Think about all the people at a concert. So they kept them employed. And what their theory was is we won't make as much money, but we're all going to take less money to keep this engine going. Because one of the concerns is if they don't get back in business to some degree, a lot of these people are going to get other jobs and they won't be available when the concerts start opening up again. I love this thinking. It wasn't about how much can I get, it's how much can we do together to keep the engine running. I put the label on it of ecosystem leadership. In other words, we're making decisions not to figure out how much money we can make or how much profit we can make, but how can we together keep the economy of this group in motion. I realized I've been doing some of that on my own in my own individual way during COVID, even though my business took a major hit financially. Did things personally, like I continued to maintain my house cleaners. Now, you may say that's a luxury, it is, but if I knew if I didn't pay them, then they would make less money. I intentionally got carry out food regularly, even though I don't like carry out. I want to have a restaurant experience because I want to support the ecosystem of the restaurants. I continued to tip 20% or more for carry out, which I never would have done pre COVID, recognizing it was a contribution to the ecosystem. I continued to pay for my marketing service, even though the benefits of that service were not anywhere near what they had been before. I maintained every expense that I knew I could, thought I could, and even some that logic told me to stop paying because I wanted to support the ecosystem of our economy and of other businesses. So, what would it look like for you to practice ecosystem leadership? What's going on in your life or in your business where maybe you can create some unique collaborations, some new arrangements where you can keep people, maybe not literally in business, but maybe you can, and help everyone make something and keep moving forward. I love this idea. I hope you'll think about it. Leave some comments about situations where you've seen it happen, or maybe even where you've done it, or even better, an idea of what you can do tomorrow to be a part of exercising ecosystem leadership. Thanks for listening. Keep taking care of yourself and everyone around you, and by all means, stay connected.